Hey guys, welcome back to the Beach Bum Bookworm. I am Tiffany. Thank you all for finding me again today. My channel is mostly about cozy mysteries with some other stuff thrown in from time to time for fun. And today I'm talking about what are a cozy mystery, or what is a cozy mystery. So when I tell people that my favorite genre is cozy mystery, sometimes I get the feeling in a very polite way that they don't always know what I'm talking about, but they're trying to be, like I said, very nice about it. So I thought, I'm going to do a video and kind of tell people what I mean by a cozy mystery. I mean, I think that we're mostly in, agreement, but these are the things that I love and expect and have seen in my years of reading cozy mystery. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I've read a lot of cozy mysteries, and these are the things that I see come up again and again. Remember to comment. I made this channel to talk about books. Let me know what are the patterns that you've seen in cozy mysteries? What do you expect to see in cozy mysteries? What I forgot, because I'm sure I'll forget something, most definitely. On your way down a comment, make sure you stop, hit the subscription, hit the notification bell, because that's going to tell you when I put out new videos every week. All right, let's talk cozy mysteries. What are they? In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, guys, you're going to hear me say usually a lot in this video because I want to make sure that I'm not overgeneralizing. It's not always the case, but it's usually the case. As an example, the protagonist is usually an amateur sleuth. They have another profession. This is not their career. They're a baker, they're a gardener, they're a florist, they're a hairdresser, something of that nature. There are definitely some cozy mystery series that the sleuth is a professional. They're a detective, so it's not always the case, but generally speaking, it is. The protagonist, although not always, most of them that I have read have been female. Again, there's definitely cozy mysteries where the main character is a male, but generally speaking, they're mostly female. The protagonist usually has a sidekick, a best friend, a sister, a business partner. Sometimes they have more than one sidekick. It could be a sidekick. It could be a group. A lot of times these characters are meant to provide, humor. And I feel like sometimes if the protagonist is really impulsive and kind of, flies off the cuff, this sidekick kind of reins them back in, hopefully. I hope they do. Cozy mysteries are typically set in a small town. Not always, but they usually are, and there's reason that they do that is so that everybody knows everybody. So they're in a small town where everybody knows everybody. There's a lot of community involvement. Everybody knows what's kind of going on with each other. If it's not set in a small town, a lot of times it'll be set maybe in a city, but within a neighborhood within that city. So that, again, you're still having those small town feels where the community all knows each other. They're all involved in each other. They kind of know what's going on. I've even read a couple series where I know I read a coffee shop series where the books usually always take place in the coffee shop, but we don't see them much outside the coffee shop. So there's still the ability to know everybody. Everybody knows everybody. All the regulars know everybody. All the regulars know what's going on with each other. So you still get that small town feel. There's a lot of times a regular set of characters, friends, family, locals who we see during each book. The murder in a cozy mystery, knock on wood, I appreciate this very much, is not detailed. There's no blood, there's no gore, there's at least not described anyways. I really appreciate that, by the way. There's also not a lot of foul language. There's no... although a lot of cozy mysteries may contain some sort of light romance, there's no sex scenes, nothing like that. It's a very clean read. The murder, like I said, isn't described in detail, but of course there is always an investigation of the murder. And it's it's not like reading a police procedural though. So if you've read police procedurals, or like you're not going to get like a CSI type of book. The victim is, generally speaking, not liked by anybody. They're usually widely hated. This is just a confession. I normally never figure out who the killer is. I try. My newest strategy is to suspect everybody. If I suspect everybody, then I have to be right. Just give it to me, because that's all I got. But I do tend to figure out who the victim is. I know it's pretty obvious, but I gotta have something to hang on to, because again, it's usually very obvious who it's going to be. They come in very close to the beginning, and they are widely hated, like I said, and they're mean and hostile, rude, unfriendly, all those things. And I'm like, there it is. That's who's going to be offed. Yep, it's going to end badly for them. So the reason that they do that is so that everybody can be a suspect. If everybody hates that person, then everybody might have a motive for killing them, because in a cozy mysteries, you're always trying to figure out the whodunit. So they need to give you, a puzzle to figure out, and twists and turns and red herrings. So only the astute, apparently not me, reader can figure out and put it all together, the whodunit. The protagonist usually solves the crime. The amateur sleuth usually solves the crime. There's usually again a big reveal where at the end of the book, the main character has figured it out, and they're going to confront that person and hopefully not get killed in the process. And you're going to get an explanation of the motive behind why they did what they did, and kind of the way it played out, how it took place, that sort of thing. So when I think of this, I was trying to think of some examples, and I thought one of the most perfect examples that I could think of, that I think most people would know, depending on your age, is Murder, She Wrote. So Murder, She Wrote, the protagonist is Jessica Fletcher. She is not a professional sleuth, obviously. She is a writer. I think she also taught some college classes, but I think in general she's an author. It's set in a small town, unless she's traveling Cabot Cove. You see reoccurring characters all the time within the shows that take place in Cabot Cove. You got Doc and Amos, and I can't remember some of the ladies' names in town, but they're reoccurring. They all know each other, and you see them in multiple different books. The victim is someone usually not liked, or has done something to multiple people, where there could be quite a few motives for getting rid of them. Lots of red herrings, lots of, clues. And Jessica Fletcher usually does a big reveal at the end. She confronts the killer. You again usually get the kind of breakdown. They usually start, telling their motive and how it was done. There's not graphic scenes of the death, violence, sex, all those things. Like I said, it's very clean, and Murder, She Wrote is another example of that. A lot of the older detective shows, murder mystery detective shows, could be considered that. I don't know. I love Columbo. I might consider that a cozy mystery. Before, they were labeled that way. You have, the crimes usually weren't very gory. And although in that case, there's an example of the main character is a professional sleuth. Columbo was a detective, a great detective. I love Columbo. That's a good question. Sorry, it popped in my head. So if I was killed, knock on wood, that I'm not, I would want Columbo to investigate my death. I just think he was so witty, and I just love him. He's just so smart, and I just enjoy the way that he kind of throws people off by, they always think he's like this guy that, you know, is unkept and doesn't know what he's doing, and, you know, always way off on what he's thinking, and he always gets them in the end. Love it. Who would you want to investigate your death? Again, knock on wood, we all hope that, you know, obviously that would never be the case for any of us, but who would you want to investigate your death? Book or TV show in general? It just sounds like, although kind of morbid to think about, also kind of fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you kind of get an idea of when I talk about cozy mysteries, what I mean. Let me know again what I forgot. And until next time, may all your future reads be 5 stars. Bye, everyone.